9:30 a.m. to Career Source, Citrus, Levy, Marion, and learn how they can help you.
Ocala's information station, 1370 WOCA.
Ocala.
All right, 5 minutes after 11 o'clock. Thank you for tuning in. Earlier this morning, 9 o'clock, you heard Veterans News, and we do that every Thursday. We've been doing Veterans News on WOCA for maybe 11 years now. I started 12 years ago doing this, 12 and a half now, right?
Yep.
And Hank Whittier and his guys started doing that show like gosh, maybe a year or so ago, a year or so after I started.
Yeah.
And it is just such a rewarding thing to get to know those guys, to hear their stories, and to realize the amazing contribution that all of you veterans gave to all of us. So I can never stop thanking you for that. Next week on the Veterans News at 9 to 5, it's going to be a full hour. We're going to learn about the VA, actually, the local one.
Yep.
Right now, kind of coincidentally, Dr. Timothy O'Leary is with us. We've had Dr. O'Leary on with us before. He is the Chief Research and Development Officer for the VA. I didn't know this, but my notes tell me that May 18th through the 22nd is VA Research Week. And he also wants to talk about celebrating 90 years of research excellence over at the VA. Wow, 90.
Yeah.
Dr. Timothy O'Leary, good morning, sir. How are you?
Good morning. Wonderful. And how about you?
Pretty good. Tell me where you are again. I know we've spoken to you before, but I don't remember where you are.
So I'm in Washington, D.C. at VA Central Office.
Okay.
And so have the opportunity from here to work with veterans in VA medical centers nationwide.
The interesting thing about research, I'm just guessing, in the VA is that you're dealing with people who might have conditions that would be specific to somebody who was in combat. Am I right?
We do, but we also deal with conditions that are common to all Americans. Obviously, veterans age, as does everybody else. And whether it's connected with combat or not, we have a responsibility to take care of the veterans that come to us for care.
So 90 years ago, what year would that have been? That would have been 1925?
Wow. I would think so,
1925. Wow. Okay, so am I right? Did I do the math right?
Yes. Yes.
Yeah, you've got the math right, and we were making tremendous contributions almost from the beginning.
So can you tell us some of the newer ones, some of the newer discoveries?
Sure. Well, I think there's a lot of great work going on. Really, it's only within the last 10 years that we've begun to understand how to effectively treat post-traumatic stress, for example.
Yeah, really.
Work that Paul Schnur did in Boston gave rise to the first widely or proof of an evidence-based treatment for PTSD that's been advanced by her and others, so that now there are techniques for helping sometimes to even deliver this care in veterans' own homes. There's been work on brain-computer interfaces that have enabled folks with diseases like Lou Gehrig's disease to send email or control a robot arm.
With your brain?
With your brain.
With just thinking about it. Wow.
Just thinking about it. I mean, which just boggles my mind. It's something that I would have never thought 10 years ago would be possible.
Yeah.
We have, but work in the past has led to improved treatment for heart disease, for example. It was a VA study published in about 1970 that showed that treating mild to moderate hypertension tremendously dropped the risk of heart attack and stroke. That's benefited all Americans. And research on improving treatment of heart disease continues to this very day, just as we put increased emphasis on issues associated with deployment health, post-traumatic stress, traumatic brain injury, and so forth that have been affecting many of our newest generation of veterans.
You can't do this research unless you have the veteran volunteers, and that in itself takes an act of courage for the veteran to admit that they do need help no matter what it is. And then once they get in your program, it seems like they feel like they are contributing to helping other veterans with their needs.
No, I think that's a great point. I think I've seen a slogan that it takes the courage of a warrior to ask for help, and I think that's really true. But our veterans are also an incredibly generous community. They are, as they participate in research, as you suggested, they are giving that help. And if you ask veterans why they participate in research, sometimes it'll be, I hope it'll make me better. But more often than not, you hear, it's something I do so that future veterans and our children and our grandchildren will get the best possible medical treatment. It's an incredibly generous group of people.
We are just having a short visit with you today, Doctor, and I want to make sure that our listeners can find out more information. And we're not quite done yet, but I want to get this out there so I can write it down so that I make sure I have it. What is a way to do this? Is there a website?
There is www.research.va.gov. It has information on all our research programs and link out to other VA services.
Are you doing this research throughout all of the VA clinics across the United States, or are there just a few?
Well, there are a lot. Most of this research is done within about 100 of the VA medical centers nationwide, often those with academic affiliations, including all of the major VA medical centers in Florida. And so the same people that are treating our veterans and doing our research are in many cases teaching our medical students and residents. This work, in some cases, is conducted in multiple sites at once in large clinical trials or in programs like our Million Veteran program, and in other cases is focused on issues that have been identified by a single investigator in a single VA medical center and are being pursued to see whether they should ultimately become big, large-scale research projects.
Well, our job, our business is communications. And I'm wondering if the newer veteran, the younger veteran, gets the message better than the older veteran. And the reason I say that is because on the show that I just mentioned that we have every Thursday, we've had a couple of older veterans who have been living with PTSD ever since like the Korean War. And just didn't think there was anything even wrong, let alone that there was a way to fix it. And we've had these testimonial stories, these success stories of the guys who were finally convinced to go have it checked out and came out of there like new people out of the whole thing. So I guess my whole purpose for saying that is if you're listening, maybe you're the wife of a veteran or the husband in some cases, and you suspect that they would benefit from the PTSD treatments that are available at the VA. I mean, don't wait any longer, I guess. Am I right about the communication being better with the younger veterans than the older ones?
So, I've been with VA for about 11 years, so I can't really speak to after Vietnam very well. But my impression is that the country as a whole did not pay the kind of attention to our veterans after Korea, after Vietnam, as we have to veterans that have participated in the most recent conflict. I think that's a sad thing, and we probably have reached out more effectively to the current generation of veterans, but we're here to serve all veterans. And if you've got an issue and it's related to your military service, you should definitely seek help from VA, and it may be helpful when you do that, if you're not already a VA patient, to contact one of the veteran service organizations like the American Legion or AMVETS or Veterans of Foreign Wars to help you navigate through the bureaucracy, because sometimes, although we strive to help folks out, it's also good if you have somebody that's already made this journey to show you how to make the journey yourself.
Yeah. Doctor, thank you for what you're doing. You're obviously helping a segment of the population that is the most admired segment, the veterans. Again, the website is research.va.gov. Mm-hmm. Is that the website?
That's right.
Okay. Doctor, always great to have you on the show. Thank you for doing what you're doing and for coming on the air with us now and then.
Well, thank you for focusing on our veterans, and thanks to the veterans for the gift they've given through their service and the gift many of you are giving through your participation in our research programs.
Yeah, and for the local people, we have a great organization called Vets Helping Vets.
Yes.
Contact them, and they will either help you directly or send you to somebody else who can help you. Dr. Timothy O'Leary, thank you for what you do.
Thank you.
All right, we'll be right back.
The weather is brought to you by myfwc.com. Safe boating is no accident. It'll be partly sunny today. There can be a shower or thunderstorm around this afternoon and evening. Our high today, 85 at the coast, 90 inland. Later tonight, partly cloudy, those 68 inland, 73 on the coast. For tomorrow, partly sunny with a shower or thunderstorm, mainly during the afternoon hours. The high 83 on the coast, 88 inland. And for Saturday, a mix of sun and clouds with a shower or thunderstorm, mainly during the afternoon hours, high 84 to 88. From the Florida Weather Center, I'm meteorologist Joe Lundberg.
So you need a credit card, but how do you choose? Let's compare the big banks to Florida Credit Union. They have rewards, and we do too. They have customer service. Hello, 24/7. They have celebrities. Hey, Danny. But with Florida Credit Union, there's no annual fee, no liability for fraudulent charges, and no 22% interest rates. Choose Florida Credit Union, and you'll not only have a great credit card, but you'll have the support and personal touch that the big banks, well, can't touch. Florida Credit Union, connecting your money to your life. Federally insured by the NCUA.
Black Cow composted cow manure is a terrific organic soil amendment. We start with cow manure from dairy farms and then compost it a full 90 days. The result is an all-natural, dark, rich soil amendment that's great for everything you grow. Flowers, vegetables, shrubs, trees, and lawns too. Look for Black Cow in the bright yellow and black bag at your favorite nursery or garden.